there, amazing explorers! Welcome to the Mighty Spriggles YouTube channel. I'm so excited you're here to join our super fun ocean adventure. Are you ready to dive in and discover a world full of surprises together? Look at our planet from space. It's super blue. That's because it's covered in water just like a giant shiny marble. Fluffy white clouds swirl all around, making it look magical. Did you know? More than half of Earth is covered by water. That means there's a whole underwater world to explore. It's like a giant ocean playground. People have made maps of the land and climbed tall mountains. We've even reached the tippy top of the highest peaks and walked across the hottest, driest deserts. But under the sparkly blue sea, there's a secret world waiting for us. It's huge and full of mysteries, like a treasure chest we haven't opened yet. Imagine a place with no map, just waiting for you to explore. Sometimes when we look at the ocean, it just looks flat and blue, but that's just the top. There's so much more underneath. The blue is like a curtain. Let's peek behind it. Under the waves, you'll find underwater mountains taller than any on land, deep valleys, and even volcanoes that bubble and fizz. There are forests of giant kelp that sway like they're dancing. The ocean is bursting with wild and wonderful creatures, some that even glow in the dark. It's like standing at the edge of a brand new world ready for adventure. We've explored the moon more than the bottom of our own ocean. Fewer people have visited the deepest sea than walked on the moon. Isn't that amazing? Every time we send a robot or camera down, we find something new, like a sea creature that looks like it's from another planet. The deep sea is the last wild place to explore. And guess what? You're invited. Let's dive in together. We'll leave the land behind and enter a place where the rules are totally different, where it's super deep, super dark, and super cool. But don't worry, it's not scary. The ocean is full of amazing life, wild creatures, and awesome surprises. We'll meet everyone, from tiny plankton to the biggest animal ever. Get ready to be amazed and see our planet like never before. The adventure is just beginning. Let's go! Life on Earth did not begin on the sun-drenched plains or in the lush green forests. It began here, in the water. Billions of years ago, in the primordial oceans, the first sparks of life flickered into existence. Simple, single-celled organisms were the pioneers. For millions of years, the ocean was the only place with life. It was the crucible of creation, the cradle from which all living things emerged. To understand life on Earth, we must return to its source, the sea. Today's ocean creatures are descendants of those first life forms. They've had an immense head start, evolving into astonishing shapes and sizes. On land, we follow a familiar blueprint. Animals with 4 limbs, lungs to breathe air, eyes to see light. In the ocean, the rulebook is gone. Animals that are little more than a stomach, jellyfish. Fish that can walk on the sea floor. Creatures that produce their own light in the abyss. Think of the sheer variety. Mammals, the majestic blue whale, reptiles, ancient sea turtles returning to nest, fish of every color and pattern in shimmering schools, invertebrates, the spineless majority, the clever octopus, the armored crab, the delicate sea star, each a masterpiece of evolution adapted to its home. This biodiversity is more than beauty. It is the engine of our planet. Oceans regulate climate and absorb carbon dioxide, producing over half our oxygen. Phytoplankton, the true lungs of our world. Complex food webs, nutrient cycles, the chemistry of our atmosphere. It's all connected to the health of the sea. The ocean is not a separate world. It is our life support system. We often fear what we do not understand. And for many, the ocean is a place of fear. We think of crashing waves, of dark, cold depths, and of dangerous predators. Stories and films have painted a picture of the sea as a hostile environment, home to monsters that lurk in the shadows. We are taught to be wary of the shark's fin, to avoid the jellyfish's sting. This fear keeps us at a distance. It prevents us from seeing the ocean for what it truly is, a place not of monsters but of marvels, a world that is far more wondrous than it is threatening. Throughout this essay, we will challenge these fears. We will replace myths with facts and reveal the truth about these often misunderstood animals. We will learn that sharks are not mindless killing machines, but are in fact crucial predators that keep the ocean's ecosystems in balance. We will discover that the seemingly simple jellyfish is a wonder of biology, a creature that has survived for over 500 million years. We will see that the creatures of the deep are not monsters, but are simply life forms that have adapted to an extreme environment in ways that are both ingenious and beautiful. This is a personal invitation, an invitation to join me on a voyage of discovery. I have spent my life exploring the natural world, and nowhere have I found more mystery, more beauty, or more inspiration than in the sea. I have had the immense privilege of witnessing things few have ever seen. I have watched a mother whale gently nudge her newborn calf to the surface for its first breath. I have been surrounded by a swirling vortex of barracuda. I have seen the ghostly dance of creatures that glow in the pitch-black darkness of the abyss. These are moments that change you forever, so let us begin. Let us cast off our assumptions and dive in with open minds. We will journey from the sunlit coral reefs to the crushing pressures of the deepest trenches. We will meet the giants and the microscopic, the hunters and the hunted, the familiar and the utterly alien. The ocean has countless stories to tell, and they are stories that concern us all. It is time we listened. It is time we explored the greatest wonder of our own planet. The deep is calling. Let us answer. Let us begin our journey with the largest animals that have ever lived on our planet. They are not dinosaurs from a long-lost age. They live today in our oceans. I am talking, of course, about the great whales, and the largest of them all is the blue whale. It is a creature of almost unbelievable scale. It can grow longer than 3 school buses and weigh as much as 30 elephants. Its heart is the size of a small car. Its tongue alone weighs as much as an elephant. To be in the presence of such an animal is a humbling experience. It makes you feel very small indeed. These giants are not fierce predators of the deep. They are, for the most part, gentle filter feeders. The blue whale, despite its immense size, survives on a diet of tiny, shrimp-like creatures called krill. It opens its enormous mouth, taking in vast quantities of water, taking in vast quantities of krill. Then it uses the baleen plates in its mouth, which act like a giant sieve to push the water out, trapping thousands of kilograms of krill inside. It is an incredibly efficient way to feed, allowing these animals to sustain their massive bodies. This gentle giant poses no threat to us, existing in a world of its own. Whales are not fish. They are mammals, just like us. They must come to the surface to breathe air. A mother whale gives birth to a live calf, which she nurses with incredibly rich milk. They are also profoundly social animals. Humpback whales, for example, are known for their complex songs. These haunting melodies can travel for hundreds of miles through the water. The males sing these long, intricate songs, which change from year to year. We are only just beginning to understand what these songs mean. Are they a way to attract a mate? A way to communicate with other whales? They are a beautiful mystery. Another gentle giant is the whale shark. Despite its name, it is not a whale at all, but the world's largest fish. Like the blue whale, it is a filter feeder. It swims slowly through the tropical oceans, its huge mouth open wide, hoovering up plankton, hoovering up small fish. You can often see smaller fish swimming alongside it, using its massive body for protection. Swimming alongside a whale shark is like swimming next to a living, breathing, polka-dotted submarine. It is a slow-moving, peaceful giant, a testament to the incredible diversity of life the ocean can support. Now, let us travel from the open blue to the sunlit shallows. Here, in the warm, clear waters, we find one of nature's greatest creations, the coral reef. It may look like a garden of strange, colorful rocks, but it is not rock at all. It is alive. A reef is a bustling city built by millions of tiny animals called coral polyps. Each polyp is a simple creature, little more than a stomach with a ring of tentacles. They build hard limestone skeletons around themselves for protection. Over thousands of years, these skeletons build up, creating the massive structures we call reefs. These tiny polyps are brilliant architects, but they do not work alone. They have a secret partner, microscopic algae living inside their tissues. The algae use sunlight to make food just like plants on land. They share this food with the polyp, giving it energy to build the reef. In return, the polyp provides a safe home and raw materials for photosynthesis. It is a perfect partnership, a beautiful example of symbiosis and the source of coral color. This relationship powers the entire reef ecosystem. A coral reef is more than just a collection of polyps. It is a metropolis of the sea. These structures provide food and shelter for a quarter of all marine species, though they cover less than 1% of the ocean floor. A world of dazzling color and frantic activity. Parrotfish, crunching coral with their beak-like mouths, clownfish, nesting among stinging anemone tentacles, moray eels, peering from crevices, sea turtles, gliding overhead. The sheer density of life is breathtaking. Intense competition, intricate cooperation, cleaner wrasse, setting up cleaning stations, big fish lining up for a cleaning. The big fish gets a cleaning, the wrasse gets a meal. From the largest shark to the smallest shrimp, every creature plays a vital role. This delicate web of life makes coral reefs one of the most important and complex ecosystems on Earth. In the crowded and often dangerous world of the reef, not being seen can be a matter of life and death. The ocean is filled with masters of disguise, animals that have evolved astonishing ways to blend in with their surroundings. They can change their color, change their shape, change their texture to become virtually invisible. This is the art of camouflage. One of the most remarkable practitioners of this art is the cuttlefish. It is a relative of the octopus and the squid, and it is a true shapeshifter. It can change its appearance in the blink of an eye. The cuttlefish has special skin cells filled with different colored pigments. By controlling these cells with its brain, it can create complex and dynamic patterns across its body. It can mimic the color and texture of sand, rock, or seaweed with incredible accuracy. It can even create moving patterns on its skin, perhaps to mesmerize its prey or confuse a predator. Watching a cuttlefish hunt is extraordinary. It will creep up on a small crab, perfectly camouflaged, and then, in a flash, two long tentacles shoot out from a hidden pouch to snatch its meal. It is a magical, almost alien ability. Another master of disguise is the octopus. With no bones in its body, it can squeeze into the tiniest of cracks and crevices, but its true talent lies in its skin. Like the cuttlefish, it can change its color and its texture instantly. It can look like a smooth rock one moment and a bumpy, algae-covered one the next. The mimic octopus of Southeast Asia takes this to another level. It does not just blend in with the background, it actively impersonates other, more dangerous sea creatures, like venomous sea snakes or spiny lionfish, to scare away predators. It is a brilliant display of intelligence. This skill is not limited to cephalopods. Many fish are also experts in camouflage. The stonefish, the most venomous fish in the world, looks exactly like a rock encrusted with algae. It lies motionless on the seabed, waiting for a smaller fish to swim by. The leafy sea dragon, found off the coast of Australia, looks for all the world like a piece of drifting seaweed. Its body is adorned with delicate, leaf-like appendages that wave in the current. These incredible adaptations show how evolution, driven by the need to eat and avoid being eaten, can produce results that are both brilliantly effective and breathtakingly beautiful. Let us now leave the sunlit world behind and descend into the deep. As we go deeper, the light begins to fade. Below 200 meters, we enter the twilight zone. Below 1,000 meters, we are in the midnight zone. Here, there is no sunlight at all. Crushing pressure, freezing cold, eternal darkness. You might think life would be scarce here, but you'd be wrong. The deep sea is teeming with life. Many inhabitants evolved a magical solution to the darkness. They make their own light. This is called bioluminescence, a cold light from chemical reactions inside an animal's body. In the deep, it's the dominant form of communication. Flashes, glows, shimmering patterns cut through blackness. Anglerfish use a glowing lure to attract prey. A fleshy rod protrudes from its head. A ball of light-producing bacteria sits at the tip. It dangles the lure before a cavernous mouth, waiting. A deadly trap in the dark. Bioluminescence also serves defense. The vampire squid can pull its webbed arms into a cloak. It releases a cloud of glowing, sticky mucus. The sparkling cloud confuses predators. The squid slips away into blackness. Others use flashes to startle attackers. Others signal for help. Some have glowing undersides. Counter-illumination. It helps them blend with faint light from above. Light shows also help find mates. Finding another in the vast dark is a huge challenge. Many species have photophores along their bodies. These patterns are signals. I am here. I am one of you. They allow mates to find each other and continue the species. This living light turns the abyss into silent, glittering conversation. In the vast blue expanse of the ocean, the most important life forms are completely invisible to the naked eye. They are the true foundation of the entire marine food web. These are the phytoplankton, microscopic single-celled plants that drift in the sunlit surface waters. Like plants on land, they use the sun's energy to create food through photosynthesis. They produce a staggering amount of oxygen, more than all the rainforests on Earth combined. Every other breath you take, you owe to these tiny organisms. They are the quiet, unsung heroes, the base of the oceanic pyramid of life. These microscopic plants are the pasture of the sea, consumed by another group of tiny drifters, zooplankton, microscopic animals, larval crabs, larval fish, barnacle larvae. The ocean becomes a soup of phytoplankton they graze upon. Zooplankton become the next vital link. They feed countless larger animals, sardines, anchovies, great baleen whales. Without this planktonic foundation, the oceans would be a barren desert. The relationship is a delicate dance. Phytoplankton abundance depends on sunlight and the availability of nutrients, often brought up from the deep by ocean currents. When conditions are right, populations explode in a bloom, turning vast areas of the ocean a vibrant green or milky blue, visible even from space. That bloom fuels a zooplankton boom. The pulse of life ripples upward through the food web, fish, birds, marine mammals. The health of the mightiest whale ties directly to these microscopic drifters. This shows how connected life in the sea truly is. A change in ocean temperature or chemistry can devastate phytoplankton. Fewer tiny plants means less food for zooplankton. Small fish feel the scarcity, then larger predators. From the smallest shrimp to the largest shark, the whole structure rests on this invisible foundation. The great web of life begins here in a sunlit world of microscopic organisms that hold the fate of all marine creatures in their tiny cells. In any complex system, there are certain elements whose presence is crucial for maintaining the entire structure. In the ocean, these are often the top predators. We call them keystone species. Just as the keystone at the top of an arch holds all the other stones in place. These animals have a disproportionately large effect on their environment relative to their abundance. Removing a keystone predator can cause the entire ecosystem to unravel and collapse. One of the most famous and misunderstood of these is the shark. Far from being a mindless monster, the shark is a vital guardian of ocean health. Sharks have been patrolling our oceans for over 400 million years, long before the dinosaurs. As apex predators, they typically hunt the sick, the weak, and the old. This is a crucial service. By removing these less fit individuals from a fish population, sharks help to keep the gene pool strong and healthy. They prevent the spread of disease and ensure that the fish populations they prey on remain robust. Without sharks, diseases could run rampant, and weaker individuals could pass on their genes, ultimately weakening the entire species. They are not villains, they are the ocean's doctors. Let us consider what happens when sharks disappear. In some areas where shark populations have been decimated by overfishing, we have seen a dramatic cascade of effects. Mid-level predators like rays, smaller sharks, suddenly have no one to keep their numbers in check. Their populations explode. These animals, in turn, devour huge quantities of shellfish like scallops clams. The result? The collapse of valuable scallop fisheries that have existed for over a century. The absence of the top predator created a domino effect that crashed an entire ecosystem and a human industry along with it. Another important keystone predator is the sea otter. These playful mammals live in the kelp forests along the Pacific coast. Their favorite food is the sea urchin. Sea urchins, if left unchecked, will graze voraciously on the base of the giant kelp, cutting the plants loose from the seafloor and destroying the entire forest. The otters, by eating the urchins, control their population and protect the kelp. This allows the kelp forest to thrive, providing a vital habitat for hundreds of other species, from fish to seals. The charming sea otter is the guardian of this underwater forest, a perfect example of a keystone species maintaining the balance of its world. The web of life is not just about who eats whom. It is also woven with threads of cooperation, sometimes between the most unlikely of partners. These relationships, known as symbiosis, are everywhere in the ocean, and they reveal a world of intricate collaboration. These alliances allow creatures to survive in ways they never could on their own, showcasing the complex social fabric of the marine world. Consider the relationship between the clownfish and the sea anemone. The anemone is a predatory animal with tentacles that deliver a powerful sting. It paralyzes any small fish that blunders into them. Yet the clownfish swims happily among these deadly tentacles, completely unharmed. It has a special layer of mucus on its skin that protects it from the sting. In return for this safe haven, the clownfish acts as a loyal bodyguard. It will aggressively chase away butterfly fish and other animals that try to nibble on the anemone's tentacles. It also helps to keep the anemone clean, and may even lure in food for its host. Another fascinating partnership exists between the goby fish and the pistol shrimp. The shrimp is a brilliant digger, constantly excavating and maintaining a burrow in the sandy seabed. However, the shrimp is almost blind, making it very vulnerable to predators whenever it leaves its home. The goby fish, on the other hand, has excellent eyesight but cannot dig its own burrow. So, they team up. The goby stands guard at the entrance to the burrow while the shrimp works. The shrimp keeps one of its long antennae on the goby's body at all times. If the goby sees danger, it gives a flick of its tail, and both partners retreat into the safety of the burrow in a flash. Even the largest predators sometimes need a little help. Giant moray eels, fearsome hunters in their own right, will often open their mouths wide to allow a tiny, cleaner shrimp to enter. The shrimp will walk boldly inside the eel's mouth and around its gills, picking off parasites and cleaning away scraps of food. The eel gets a dental checkup, and the shrimp gets a safe meal. This is a relationship built on absolute trust. The eel could swallow the shrimp in an instant, but it does not. These partnerships demonstrate that survival in the ocean is not just about strength and ferocity, it is also about communication, trust, and mutual benefit. In the ocean, as on land, nothing goes to waste. Every ending is also a beginning. The cycle of life and death drives the flow of energy and nutrients through the ecosystem. When a great whale finally dies, its body does not simply vanish. Its death triggers a remarkable chain of events on the deep, dark seafloor. This process is known as a whale fall, a final, monumental gift. The first to arrive are large mobile scavengers, deep-sea hagfish, sleeper sharks, drawn from miles around by the scent of the fall. They tear away soft tissues in a feeding frenzy that can last months or years. They gorge on the bounty, a rare feast in a food-scarce world. They strip the skeleton clean and spread that energy through the deep-sea community. Then a new community takes over, the enrichment opportunists. Worms, small crustaceans, mollusks. They colonize the skeleton and the surrounding enriched sediment. They feast on scraps and organic matter, creating a bustling community. That community can thrive for several years. The whale's bones become a reef, a hard surface in the abyssal mud, a city that springs up from a single death. The final stage can last for decades. Specialized bacteria break down lipids in the bones. This releases chemicals like sulfides, feeding other bacteria. Bacterial mats form, thick and colorful over the bones. Mussels, clams, tube worms. These symbiotic animals colonize the skeleton. This self-sustaining, chemical-powered community can persist for up to a century. Perhaps no creature in the sea is more feared or misunderstood than the shark. Decades of sensationalist films and news stories painted them as mindless, man-eating monsters patrolling the coasts, waiting to attack. This image, born from primal fear, is far from the truth. Sharks are not villains. Ancient, intelligent, incredibly diverse. They play a vital role in ocean health. To see them only as a threat is to miss their story. Shark attacks on humans are incredibly rare, more likely to be struck by lightning or injured by a falling coconut than bitten by a shark. When attacks happen, it's usually mistaken identity. Shark looking up from below, a person on a surfboard, a swimmer at the surface, can look like a seal. The shark takes an exploratory bite, realizes the mistake, and almost always swims away. They are investigating, not hunting. Over 500 shark species exist. Most pose no threat to humans. Most are small, shy, living in the deep ocean or along the seabed. Whale shark, gentle giant plankton feeder. Basking shark, second largest, filter feeds. Great white, complex predator, not a killing machine. Cautious, curious, not indiscriminate killers. Apex predators driven by instinct and survival, not malice. The myth, the world would be safer without sharks. Reality, an ocean without sharks would be catastrophically unhealthy. They are keystone species. They maintain balance in marine ecosystems. The real danger is to sharks. Humans kill about 100 million sharks a year, mainly for their fins. Many species face extinction. The creature we fear is actually a victim. Its disappearance would be a tragedy for the entire ocean. Let us turn our attention to another creature often viewed with a sense of dread, the jellyfish. Washed up on the beach, strange gelatinous blobs we are warned not to touch. We fear their sting while swimming. A painful, sometimes dangerous encounter with an almost invisible enemy. They seem simple, primitive, mindless, drifting at the mercy of the currents. But that overlooks the incredible story of one of Earth's greatest survivors. Not just stinging drifters, ancient wonders of biology with surprising complexity. Among the oldest multi-organ animals on the planet, pulsing through oceans over 500 million years ago, long before the first fish evolved, even before the dinosaurs. They've survived every mass extinction. Their longevity proves a simple, highly effective body plan. No brain, no heart, no bones, over 95% water. Yet they can hunt, they can defend themselves, they can reproduce with remarkable efficiency. A design perfected by 500 million years of evolution. Many are active, efficient hunters, tentacles armed with thousands of microscopic stinging cells. Nematocysts, triggered by touch, they fire a tiny spring-loaded harpoon that injects venom. Small fish, plankton, oral arms bring paralyzed prey to the mouth. Some, like box jellyfish, have complex vision, 24 eyes, and actively hunt, moving with speed and purpose, not aimless drifters, not floating bags, successful predators. A jelly bloom isn't always a sign of an unhealthy ocean. Pollution can cause swarms. Overfishing of predators can too. But jellyfish play crucial roles in the ecosystem. Blooms feed other animals, sea turtles, and many fish species. When they die, their bodies sink. Jelly falls, transferring nutrients to the deep. These drifting ghosts are not a nuisance. They're a fundamental, ancient part of the ocean's web of life. The deep sea, a realm of eternal night and crushing pressure, has always been a fertile ground for our imagination. For centuries, sailors told tales of giant krakens that could pull entire ships beneath the waves and sea serpents that stretched for miles. These stories gave birth to the idea that the abyss is home to monsters. When we finally sent cameras down and saw the creatures that live there, the anglerfish with its gaping maw and fleshy lure, the vampire squid with its dark cloak and glowing eyes, it seemed to confirm our fears. These animals looked like the monsters from our nightmares, validating a deep-seated anxiety about the unknown depths. But these creatures are not monsters. They are masterpieces of adaptation. Their seemingly grotesque features are brilliant solutions to the extreme challenges of life in the deep sea. The anglerfish's fearsome teeth and huge mouth are essential for ensuring that any meal it manages to attract in the food-scarce darkness does not escape. The vampire squid's cloak and startling cloud of glowing mucus are purely defensive mechanisms for a soft-bodied animal with few other ways to protect itself from predators. Their strange forms are a product of evolution, not malice. To label them as monsters is to judge them by the standards of our sunlit world, a world they were not built for. The legend of the Kraken likely originated from real encounters with the giant squid. Growing up to 13 meters long, it is a true giant of the deep. For centuries, its existence was known only from carcasses washed ashore sucker marks on sperm whales. Seeing one alive is one of the rarest prizes in natural history. It is not a ship-destroying monster, but a shy and powerful predator of the abyss, a real-life marvel far more fascinating than the myths it inspired. The Kraken is a beast of fiction. The giant squid is a triumph of biology. Ultimately, the only monsters in the sea are the ones we create in our own minds. Our fear of the unknown leads us to misinterpret and demonize creatures that are simply living their lives according to the rules of their environment. By replacing fear with curiosity and mythology with science, we can begin to see these animals for what they truly are. They are not evil or monstrous. They are survivors. They are a testament to the incredible power of life to find a way, even in the most hostile conditions imaginable. The monsters of the deep should inspire not fear, but a profound sense of awe and wonder at the diversity of life on our planet. For millennia, the ocean seemed infinite and untouchable. Its vastness and power made it appear immune to our actions. We viewed it as a bottomless dump, a place where waste could be discarded and forgotten, carried away by the tides. But the sheer scale of human activity in the last century has finally overwhelmed the ocean's resilience. The marks of our presence are now visible across the globe, from the shallowest coasts to the deepest trenches. One of the most visible and heartbreaking of these scars is pollution. Our modern world runs on plastic, and a staggering amount of it ends up in the sea. Every year, millions of tons of plastic waste, bottles, bags, fishing nets, tiny microplastics flow into our oceans. This plastic does not simply disappear. It breaks down into smaller and smaller pieces, but it never truly goes away. It forms giant, swirling garbage patches in the middle of our oceans. It washes up on the most remote and pristine beaches in the world, and it is ingested by marine life at every level of the food web. Sea turtles mistake plastic bags for jellyfish, their natural food. Seabirds feed plastic fragments to their chicks, filling their stomachs with indigestible junk. It is a slow, silent, and deadly poison seeping into every corner of the marine world. Beyond the visible scourge of plastic, there are other, more insidious forms of pollution. Chemical runoff from farms and cities pours fertilizers and pesticides into coastal waters. This flood of nutrients can trigger massive algal blooms that suck all the oxygen out of the water, creating vast dead zones where fish and other marine life cannot survive. Oil spills, though often localized, can have catastrophic and long-lasting effects, coating birds, mammals, and the entire shoreline in a toxic black film. Even the noise from our ships and industrial activities creates a constant, disorienting din that interferes with the ability of whales and dolphins to communicate and navigate. The ocean that has nurtured life for billions of years is now choking on the byproducts of our civilization. The damage we have inflicted is not just an aesthetic problem, it is a fundamental threat to the health of marine ecosystems. These pollutants weaken, poison, and kill marine animals, disrupt food webs, and degrade vital habitats like coral reefs and mangrove forests. The seemingly endless blue is, in fact, fragile. We have treated the ocean as a boundless resource and a convenient sewer for too long. Now we are beginning to see the consequences of that neglect. The scars are deep, and they are a stark warning that we must change our ways. For generations, we have looked to the seas as a source of endless bounty. Fishing has supported coastal communities for thousands of years, a timeless dance between humanity and the ocean. But in recent decades, that dance has become a relentless assault. Our technological prowess has grown exponentially. Factory ships the size of football fields, sonar that can pinpoint schools of fish with terrifying accuracy, fishing gear that can scrape the seabed bare. We have become too good at fishing. We are pulling fish out of the ocean faster than they can possibly reproduce. This is overfishing, and it is silently emptying our seas. It is estimated that around 90% of the world's large predatory fish are gone. Tuna, swordfish, marlin, sharks. Many commercial fish stocks are now fished beyond sustainable limits or have collapsed entirely. We are fishing down the food web, moving on to smaller and smaller species as the larger ones become scarce. The problem is compounded by destructive fishing practices. Bottom trawling, for instance, involves dragging vast weighted nets across the ocean floor. This method catches everything in its path, destroying ancient coral gardens and sponge beds that can take centuries to recover, all for a single catch of fish or shrimp. It is the marine equivalent of clear-cutting a rainforest. Another tragic consequence of our industrial fishing methods is bycatch. This is the term for the unwanted fish and other marine creatures that are caught unintentionally while fishing for a different species. Every year, millions of tons of bycatch, including dolphins, whales, sea turtles, seabirds, are caught in nets and on long lines. Most of these animals are thrown back into the ocean, either dead or dying. It is a colossal waste of life, a hidden cost of the seafood on our plates. This indiscriminate harvesting not only pushes vulnerable species closer to extinction, but also disrupts the delicate balance of the entire marine ecosystem. The silent emptying of our oceans is not just an ecological crisis, it is a human one. Hundreds of millions of people around the world depend on fish as their primary source of protein and on fishing for their livelihoods. As fish stocks decline, it is often the small-scale local fishermen and the communities they support that suffer the most. The depletion of this vital resource threatens food security and economic stability for a significant portion of the world's population. We have taken the ocean's generosity for granted, and now we face the stark reality of a future with empty nets and barren seas. As if pollution and overfishing were not enough, marine life faces another, even more pervasive threat. This one is invisible, but its effects are profound. The vast quantities of carbon dioxide we have been pumping into the atmosphere since the Industrial Revolution are changing the very chemistry of the ocean. The ocean has been our greatest ally in the fight against climate change, absorbing about a third of the carbon dioxide we produce. But this service comes at a great cost. As the CO2 dissolves in seawater, it makes the water more acidic. This process, known as ocean acidification, is sometimes called the other carbon dioxide problem. This gradual change in chemistry is having a devastating effect on marine life, particularly creatures that build shells or skeletons out of calcium carbonate. This includes the tiny coral polyps that build our magnificent reefs, plankton, clams, oysters, crabs. In more acidic water, it becomes harder for these organisms to form their protective shells. Existing shells can even begin to dissolve. For coral reefs, the effect is catastrophic. Acidification, combined with rising water temperatures, is causing widespread coral bleaching, where the corals expel their symbiotic algae and turn ghostly white. A bleached reef is a dying reef, and with it, an entire ecosystem is lost. At the same time, the ocean is also absorbing over 90% of the extra heat trapped by greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. This is causing ocean temperatures to rise, a marine heat wave that is putting immense stress on ecosystems. Warmer water holds less oxygen, making it harder for fish to breathe. It forces species to migrate towards the poles in search of cooler waters, disrupting established food webs and fishing industries. The timing of natural events, like spawning and migration, is being thrown off kilter. The fundamental rhythms of ocean life, which have been stable for millennia, are being altered in the span of a single human lifetime. This rising tide of change is a global threat that connects us all. The carbon we emit from our cars, power plants, and factories is directly impacting the health of the entire ocean, from the smallest shelled plankton to the largest whale. It is a stark reminder that our planet is a single, interconnected system. What we do on land has profound consequences for the sea. The acidification and warming of our oceans represent one of the greatest challenges marine life has ever faced. It is a silent crisis, but its impacts will be felt for centuries to come, threatening the very foundation of the marine web of life. The picture I have painted is a grim one. The threats facing our oceans are immense. The threats facing our oceans are complex. The threats facing our oceans are deeply concerning. It would be easy to fall into despair, to feel that the problems are too big to solve. But that would be a mistake. All across the world, there are beacons of hope. There are dedicated scientists. There are passionate communities. There are forward-thinking governments fighting to turn the tide. Stories of successful conservation efforts show us that positive change is possible. When we give the ocean a chance, Its capacity for recovery is remarkable. It is a story not of defeat. It is a story of resilience. It is a story of renewal. One of the most powerful tools we have is the creation of marine protected areas, or MPAs. These are like national parks for the sea. They are areas where destructive fishing is restricted. They are areas where mining is banned. Inside these protected zones, life can rebound with astonishing speed. Fish populations grow larger and more numerous. Damaged coral reefs begin to recover. Seagrass beds begin to recover. MPAs create a spillover effect as replenished fish stocks move into surrounding areas. That benefits local fisheries. They are sanctuaries of life and vital reservoirs of biodiversity. Science and innovation are also providing new solutions. We are developing smarter fishing gear that dramatically reduces bycatch. That lets turtles escape. That lets dolphins escape. Communities are organizing massive beach cleanups. Communities are developing new ways to recycle and repurpose plastic waste. Scientists are growing resilient corals in nurseries. Scientists are transplanting those corals to restore bleached reefs. Public awareness has grown enormously. People are demanding sustainable seafood. People are rejecting single-use plastics. People are calling on their leaders to take action on climate change. Every individual choice, when multiplied by millions, can create a powerful wave of change. I have been lucky enough to witness this resilience firsthand. I have visited reefs that were once barren wastelands. Those reefs are now teeming with life after protection. I have seen whale populations once hunted to the brink of extinction. Now they make a slow but steady comeback thanks to international bans. These successes prove that it is not too late. They show that our actions matter. The ocean is not a lost cause. The ocean is wounded. The ocean is not broken. If we act now with determination and a shared sense of responsibility, we can help heal the scars. We can ensure the wonders of the deep continue to inspire generations to come. We have journeyed together from the sunlit shallows to the crushing darkness of the abyss. We have met the gentle giants, the microscopic engines of the sea. We have explored the bustling cities of coral, silent, glittering conversations of the deep. We have uncovered the truth behind ancient myths and faced the sobering reality of the damage we have inflicted. Through it all, one truth becomes overwhelmingly clear. The ocean is not a separate world, distant and disconnected from our own. It is the very heart of our planet, the source of our life, and its fate is inextricably linked to ours. We are creatures of the land, but the ocean flows within us all. Every drop of water on Earth is part of a single, immense, circulating system. The water in the clouds above, the rain that falls on our fields, the rivers that carve our landscapes, the water that makes up our own bodies, it is all connected to the sea. The oxygen we breathe is generated by its invisible forests of phytoplankton. The climate that allows our crops to grow is regulated by its vast heat-absorbing currents. The story of the ocean is the story of our planet's life support system. To damage the ocean is to damage ourselves. To protect it is to protect our own future on this blue planet. It is easy to feel disconnected from these underwater realms. Most of us will never swim with a blue whale or see the strange beauty of a bioluminescent creature with our own eyes. The deep sea feels as remote as a distant galaxy, but our connection is not one of proximity. It is one of profound dependency. The fish on our table, the air in our lungs, the stability of our weather, daily reminders of our bond with the sea. The plastic bottle we discard, the energy we consume, the products we buy, threads that tie our everyday actions directly to the health of the most remote parts of the ocean. Therefore, we cannot afford to be passive spectators. We cannot simply marvel at the wonders of the ocean and then turn away from the threats it faces. We are all stakeholders in this shared global commons. The responsibility to protect it does not fall only on scientists, activists, or politicians. It falls on each and every one of us. Caring for the ocean is not a niche interest for a few enthusiasts. It is a fundamental duty for every human being. The health of the sea is the health of us all, and in its silent depths lies a reflection of our own wisdom or our own folly. Wow! The ocean is full of amazing surprises. I've seen so many wonderful things under the waves, colorful fish, giant whales, and sparkling coral reefs. Every adventure in the sea is special. The ocean is like a giant storybook filled with creatures of every shape and color. There's always something new and exciting to discover, but the ocean needs our help to stay beautiful and full of life. We can all be ocean heroes. Picking up trash, using less plastic, and learning about sea animals makes a big difference. Imagine if everyone worked together to protect the sea. We could keep the ocean safe for turtles, dolphins, and all our underwater friends. When we care for the ocean, we make the world a better place for everyone. Even small actions can help the sea sparkle with life. Let's promise to keep exploring, learning, and protecting our blue planet together. The ocean is counting on us. If you had fun exploring with us, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with your friends. See you next time on Mighty Spriggles.